How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Diamond Map channel. I'm Chris Bilton. I was a professional jeweller in the UK for over 20 years, but now I'm out here living in Japan since 2 years ago and keeping my skills alive by making jewellery making instructional videos for the YouTube channel. So welcome. Click like and subscribe if you're into all that. Start my videos now by saying thank you to new patrons and members. We've got Reed Miles, Monia Malia, and Robert Mara, Turtle Stick, Stephen Costa, Pippa McFarlane and Gregory Paul. Thank you very much, guys, for your contributions. Genuinely really helps me continue this channel and offer more of what I learned over the few decades of making jewellery. So if you want to help support me yourself, take it a step further than just clicking liking and subscribe to the channel, you can follow the links in the description and also become a patron or a member yourself. Find out about all the benefits and whatnot to do that. So today's video is a quick one, and it's in response to a question a patron sent me yesterday. And I was going to do just like an exclusive video that I do sometimes just for the patrons and members, but I thought no, I'll do a proper video because most people watching my channel are beginners, so that makes sense because, you know, if you're looking to learn something, you're going to be researching online and find stuff on YouTube. So yeah, so even the most things that I might consider like too simple are actually going to be really useful to some people, because, you know, like you might see me in a video using that. If you don't know what that is, then you don't know what it is. So you're like, what's he doing? What's that grey thing? Like, it's a buff stick. And what's a buff stick? It's just stick with that paper on. And what's that paper? It's emery paper. Where'd you buy it? What's that stick? What size has it got to be? It's just a bit of sticks, just whatever fits in your hand. It's like just stuff we take for granted because it's just so long since you got shown how to do it. You forget what it's like being a beginner sometimes, and I can appreciate it because I'm a beginner. I'll just show you what's on my floor now. Like car stereo bits, the woodwork, electronics, got mold making equipment there. Like, I'm constantly up to things. So yeah, I do get it when you're trying to do something you've never done it before. You might want to research a little bit. So even the most simple information can be really helpful to you. So anyway, not buff sticks, not car stereos, not mold making. Files today. So the question was about files, like what's good, what's not, what do you need. So yeah, I'll just talk a little bit about what I use. So just for convenience for working on pieces, I like mine in a pocket under my bench. If you're interested, that's just like a sheet of leather screwed to the underside of my bench, but perfectly fine just on your bench if you've got space for it. If you haven't got space, maybe do something like that. So yeah, I'm perfectly happy with just 3 of my big files. Don't really ever need anything different than these. So the main one, if you're gonna have just one file, like if you're just starting out buying tools, don't want to spend a lot, just have one of these, a ring file. It's flat one side, rounded the other. This one was a cut 0, I think. It's quite a coarse one, but I've had this years. It's probably like 5-6 years old. It's quite worn out, but its worn outness is actually a benefit as well, because sometimes I don't want to file something really quickly. If I do, I've got this one. It's a newer one, slightly wider. This is a really coarse one as well, but it's really sharp. I think you'll find as you progress, you get a bit more skill, you get more confidence working quickly. So you want tools that enable you to work quickly. So I tend to be drawn to very coarse files. But obviously the Cut 2 was like a sort of industry standard when I started off, but as I've progressed over the years, I prefer more coarse ones. And then obviously you've got your buff sticks and whatever to get things smooth again. So essentially I've got 2 ring files and this flat section one, and all these large files all really coarse. The minimum I would go to is a Cut 2. They're quite good if you're starting off, because they cut really well, but they're not too severe. So if you're getting used to just controlling a file, you don't want to accidentally put wrong angles and stuff, Cut 2 is quite good for that. These are more coarse. These are like Cut 0, I think. Or when they're really coarse, they're called bastard. I think this one would be called a bastard if Japanese weren't so polite. Yeah, these are the same brand, these ones. These are from Japan. Yeah, this one I bought in a trade shop in Osaka. It was sold to me as a non-stick file. So I had a close look at it. I can't really see what's different really about it, but a little bit of wax caught in there. But apart from that, it's not clogging up. But one thing I have noticed, looking at it closely, I talk about convenience of having them in this pocket, but definitely what's happening, probably this one is to blame. I chuck them in there. Can you hear that? That's like blades banging into each other. It's not really good. Hello. It's not really good for your files. So maybe don't have a pocket is probably better advice for you, but I'm doing it, I'm getting away with it, but there is noticeable little bits of damage on my file. But at the same time, I've had this since 2018, because I've been coming to Japan quite a lot since before I actually moved here. I think I got this when I was here in 2018, and it still works perfectly, but there are a few little marks on there. Damn, I don't have a spare handle. I can do a video on fitting the handles to these, but yeah, you buy the handles separately. I don't know why no one sells them together. Maybe I'll start doing that. I've just set up a website for selling jewellery tools and little things. So it's brand new. I've only got like one thing on there. There's little rubber discs. But yeah, I would like to offer for sale, because no other jewellery shops are doing it, a file blade that comes with a handle. Why does that not exist? You have to buy them separately. Yeah, so actually fitting the blade to the handle, an old school technique I was taught, which I stopped doing because it was just messy and horrible. You heat up, you've got to hold the blade with like gardening glove on or some strong sort of pliers, but not great. You don't want to be gripping the blade with your pliers. That's prone to damaging it. But yeah, basically you get the sharp end like red hot, and then you just push the wooden handle on it, and there's loads of smoke, loads of mess, fire alarms going off, everybody's coughing in the workshop, and you hold it on, it sort of burns itself in there, but it's risky. You get it too hot, just keeps burning it out, and then it's just a loose sort of burnt out file handle, or if it's not hot enough, it just goes on halfway and then it's just stuck there, and then you've got to pull it off and get it a bit hotter. It's a messy way to work. I don't know why people used to do that. Far better way is just, because the file handle's got a bit of a hole in it, that goes to a sort of bit of a point, and just hammer them on. Just put them down on something wood, like not a bench peg, but something, scrap bit of wood, and just bang it down on there and try and get it on straight and make sure it doesn't go off at a bit of an angle. If it does, it's not the end of the world, but it's just nice when everything's straight. Maybe I'll order a handle and do a video on it to show you me doing it. But yeah, just bang them on there. Don't do anything more fancy than that. So after a bit of use, maybe a few years, they can be prone to coming loose. Depends how well you put it in there in the first place, but this one came loose, and for years, and I mean years and years, 15, almost 20 years, I was trying to glue them back in, or silicone sealant, just something, or trying to just rotate it and then hammer it back down again, and they come loose again. This has worked really well, and it's something I discovered just by chance. Like, I was looking in the cupboard for glue or whatever, and found polyfiller, which is like filler, basically, just for repairing cracks in walls or filling up screw holes and stuff, so you can paint over them. Worked really, really well. Like I said, this file is really old. It's had a lot of years of use. Blade's all worn out. File blade has come out, obviously, become loose over the years. Put in polyfiller in it, it's worked really, really well. It's been a really good repair. So that stood the test of time. So I recommend repairing your wonky file blades and handles with filler. To answer a specific question by the patron, I file any metal with them, like obviously not like lead and stuff, but all like the precious metals we work with, I have no concerns about mixing the metals on the files. Some people are. I think that's a bit over the top. Even my buff sticks, like just whatever, they just get used. And if I don't want to mix, don't want to rub, like, because platinum can get quite ingrained on the smooth ones. If I, for whatever reason, don't want to rub platinum on a yellow gold ring, just tear it off and start a fresh bit. But yeah, basically I've got no concerns with mixing my files and buff sticks on different types of metals. The only thing I don't do is mix up my lemels. I like to keep my lemel separate, just so I can have it in separate little bags, just so I know what I'm sending off to scrap. So yeah, my skin is only got like silver in, or it's only got gold in, but the files and buff sticks, even my polishing mops, some people polishing, they don't mix metals on their different polishing mops. I don't care. Like, I've never really noticed any kind of like problems caused by it. So yeah, use whatever you want with your files. Although, saying that, they can clog up. Like I said, this one was non-stick. I don't really understand why, but it does seem to be staying not clogged up. But it's not a huge problem anyway. You just get a very stiff wire brush. You could brush out bits that are stuck in there. Maybe aluminium might clog up your file blades. Lead, definitely. Plastics, steel, getting very hard metals, you're at risk of wearing out your file or even really damaging it straight away. But yeah, just really, really soft metals I would avoid. and things like plastic and stuff, and wax. You know, we do wax carving. You can adjust wax shape with your files. That's going to clog it up, but it will come out easily, just any kind of brush. I mean, wax will come out of that sort of brush, but anything a bit more stuck to it, you might need a more stiff, like wire bristle brush. Shout out to HS Walsh in Hatton Garden. Thank you very much. I got my charcoal block and a few bits here. Charcoal blocks all in one piece, so it came all the way to Japan and lasted all right. Yeah, I find it funny that I can buy tools from the same places I used to when I lived in London. So it's quite fun, because stuff like that, there's differences, yeah, between UK and Japan. I can't get charcoal blocks here like I'm used to, or like I like or want to use. So I have to buy some things from the UK. So it's cool that they do international delivery. Yeah, I like HS Walsh. They don't sponsor this video, by the way, but I like that shop out of all the shops I went to in Hatton Garden, because there's another big tool shop just a few doors down. I won't mention their name. Crookson's. Sorry, something in my throat. You go in there, you've got to take a ticket, like, and wait your turn. Like, that's not a good sign. Like, you might just want to pop in and like just get, like, say, a charcoal block. It shouldn't take any more than a few minutes. Got to wait like 10 minutes, 15 minutes for your turn at the counter. You go to the counter, you ask for it, and then they're like, "Oh, don't know if we got any of those." And then whoever serves you, they just walk off and disappear for another 10 minutes. You're like, "Well, hello? Like, is anyone serving me?" And then they come back with it, or they come back and there's a problem. You can just spend like an hour in there, and it's so frustrating. HS Walsh, I never had that problem. Like, you can just walk straight up to the counter. Like, obviously there's not a queue, but it rarely is. You can just walk straight up to the counter, ask someone. They know everything about the tools in the shop, so you're sort of talking to experts. It makes a big difference on your experience as a customer. And also you can just walk around and see all the stuff and just pick it up and have a close look at everything. That other big shop I didn't mention, everything's just all hidden at the back, so you can just look at a picture of it in a catalogue, and then you don't really know what you're getting. It's nice to, like, you know, buy something like that. You can actually just like hold it and feel it. It's like, yeah, that'll do for my job. Just a better experience overall as a customer, so I recommend HS Walsh. Okay, so in a nutshell, I would say if you're going to buy one file, if you're starting out, you don't want to spend a load of money, just get one file, get a ring file that goes to a point. This is 6-inch blade, I think they are. Yeah, it goes to a point, cut 2 at the smoothest, cut 1, cut 0, cut 0, 0, whatever they call them. Just go more coarse than cut 2, and it's good for jewellery. And then obviously you've got a flat side for doing the sides of rings or whatever, and then the rounded side, doing the inside of rings, cleaning up those solder joins and put a piece in a ring, you can file the metal back. This is the one file. If you're going to have one file, this is it. And obviously a handle that you just bang on, don't burn it on.